Mavericks, just wanted to do a quick video on explaining routing and rerouting, um, essentially keyword searches, and that's where Amazon's sort of going right now. Is that they've made some drastic changes to their platform. Sort of started back towards the end of last year. I noticed it. They're kind of experimenting with that, and kind of shared that throughout the last year in webinars as well as in the Maverick group about some of the changes in this area. And so essentially this will have an impact on your possibly development of a book, or originally launching the book, and maybe the strategy around your titles and subtitles. Essentially what it is that typically the way organically books have been found up until these changes occurred was a consumer would type in a keyword into the search bar, and then Amazon would bring up in the Kindle store all of the books related to that keyword. And under the traditional way of a loophole that was there was that if you would shorten your title to a simple keyword, such as, let's say, if you're doing financing, instead of having a long title, you'd have a very short title by just calling it finance, and you would rank, you'd have a high chance of ranking high when you launch that book, depending on how many other books are being published and so forth. But you'd have a higher probability that you get a very high ranking, first page, second page, no matter how big the market is, based on that sort of algorithm loophole. Well, with all the saturation that occurs through crappy books, not because lots of books are being published, just because lots of crappy books are being published, that Amazon had to find a way to restructure its algorithm or correct its algorithm so that consumers have an easier way of finding quality. And quality, I mean books that have longevity, that have been around a while, that have maybe a certain amount of reviews, certain amount of traffic, certain amount of authority. And so they wanted consumers to find it easier, because all they were doing was becoming a library of books that have no value, and it was becoming harder for consumers to navigate through the Amazon system pages to find it. And so it decided, well, let's take our fiction model as our primary focus, because fiction generates a lot of short-term cash for Amazon, and it creates a lot of subscriptions because it's designed that way. And so it took its fiction model and started correcting it, where it started to choose keywords and basically larger markets first, where they would take that keyword and they would then say, okay, if someone's going to organically search this keyword to find all the fictional books in the Kindle store, we are going to reorganize that data, and we're going to move that search into a specific category of that keyword. And you can always test this yourself by going and typing in the search bar, for instance, mystery, and you'll see that the screen freezes and Amazon reorganizes all the books and funnels the user into a specific niche based on its browsing history, and then if there is none, then a default one. And then you will notice that all the books are very good books, and they've basically prioritized giving authority to books that are based on those principles that I told you at the beginning of today's video. And so they slowly did that with fiction, and I knew that it was a matter of time that they would do that with nonfiction, with some of the more profitable niches or categories, or not even profitable, just ones that have an abundance amount of content in. And so the bigger markets, they're going to be doing that. And so so they've been doing that now. Now you can see that, you can test that with the keyword money, for instance, and see that it's rerouted into maybe finance or money management, or another category. This changes the game now for when you create a title. If you are going to go and attack those types of markets where they are being rerouted, you need to understand that there's probably not going to be a loophole in your keyword. So you have probably a lot more freedom in creating a title that you want to, instead of one that tries to find a loophole in the algorithm under the traditional way. So for some people, this might change your strategy, where maybe you're going to stay away from rerouted markets and continue to pursue and find markets that don't do this. I think that eventually I'm sure Amazon is going to do it on all of them. It just takes time to resolve that problem for its Kindle store, and it's just a matter of time. And so for yourself, the sooner you challenge yourself to understand that it's going to require more marketing and require some of the other ways to get around that disadvantage of not ranking your book immediately. At the same time, understanding that probably free promotions are not going to impact the rerouted markets as significantly as it once did. That a lot of short-term success is probably going to be a lot easier in non-rerouted markets. And so whether you're going to change your approach and find those markets and publish in there, or rise above it and try to market and try to go into these rerouted ones, knowing that there are some advantages, that you can now have the freedom to publish a title whichever way you want, title and subtitle, and focusing less on keyword optimization in those, and focus more on your marketing and driving traffic and and making sales or through product development and the resources or the audiences that you're building, and that will lead to higher rankings and, more importantly, lead to a positive influence on Amazon to promote your products. So I wanted to leave you with that, more clarity on understanding the pros and cons and the advantages. There are ways around now. A simple way to get around ranking well on a rerouted market as well is just Amazon ads. Choosing that keyword and doing manual PPC or advertising campaigns. You can get on that first page that way. Whether you're going to have success is going to depend on your product. For sales is going to be depend on your product, depend on the niche and the category. But as I predicted, when I got into physical products and PPC started to become really good, I knew that Amazon would optimize this and create a price for real estate in the Kindle market, and that's what they've done. Don't be intimidated by it. Just understand that the business has changed the model. There's still opportunities to do really well and to keep pushing your business. You just got to learn some new things, and you got to start experimenting with new types of marketing. And I think and that's what a lot of Mavericks are doing. It's going to put more emphasis on trying to reduce your marketing costs, and the way to do that is by building a brand and cross promoting, driving traffic in other types of ways, such as a blog or affiliate marketing or physical products or drop shipping or other different types of things that people are doing online. That this is going to force you down those paths and get you to try to learn these types of new types of things so that you can efficiently grow your business and become less dependent on the Amazon system that just constantly seems to change every 6 months and force you to survive rather than get ahead. So I wanted to get that video out. Hopefully that helps some of you understand and clarity in regards to that, and we will talk to you soon.